Welcome to the Finisher, a podcast about professional wrestling and all things, well, wrestling. Here are your hosts, Jerry Pickering and Dan Nawrocki.
Welcome back to another episode of The Finisher right here on Facebook and on all your podcasting networks. You want to know where you can find us? Head over to our website, thefinisherpodcast.com. It's right down. Oh, it's at the bottom of the screen. I can't point right. It's right at the bottom of the screen, thefinisherpodcast.com. Everything is there. Our social, every place you can find us for our podcasting, all the different podcasting networks that we're on. So make sure you check that out. And make sure you like, subscribe, favorite, follow. So that way, every time we upload something, you know. Because you know what? We're live 3 times this weekend. Obviously, right now on the Facebook page for the podcast. Later this evening for NXT TakeOver 30. And tomorrow for SummerSlam. So, Dan, we've got a lot going on this weekend with wrestling, isn't it?
A lot going on. I think we're going to hate each other by Monday morning.
You probably hate me after last night.
You know, that statement alone probably needs some context. Right? And it wasn't you that did anything. So I suppose it's probably safe to clarify. We, about a week or two ago, talked about another project that we were working on. And we shot our first scenes for it yesterday. And I was in pain for a little while. Jerry enjoyed himself thoroughly.
I did, really.
Because he's a sadist son of a bitch. And so that's why there was something about last night. There was nothing else to imply from that.
All right. Looks like there's quite a bit going on.
You know that laugh didn't dissuade that inference either, you realize. But yeah, ton going on this weekend. Well, especially coming into a very big weekend. 3 huge events this weekend. Of course, we're going to kind of keep an eye on 2 of them for the time being.
All right. So TakeOver tonight, SummerSlam tomorrow. But before we get into that, we're going to have predictions at the end of the show. We actually have a guest to do predictions with us.
Indeed.
So they're trying to have another person to take my title away. I don't like it. I don't like it whatsoever. But the WWE is now in the ThunderDome.
Yeah, and you know what? It's all right.
It's not bad. It's pretty cool.
That's okay. It's definitely a welcome change to the last several months of programming.
Yes.
I know a lot of people had problems not seeing faces in the background or hearing crowd noise or all of that kind of thing. So it's a definite change. The bigger venue works better for that product. So it will be good now that they're taking up residence at the Amway Center.
Yes, the Amway Center.
Yeah.
Started last night. Started last night with SmackDown, tonight with NXT, and tomorrow with SummerSlam, and then
TakeOver will still be over at Full Sail.
Oh, TakeOver still at Full Sail. Oh,
as far as I remember, they did not move TakeOver, just SummerSlam.
Okay.
So that will be, but at the same time, that's also a little more appropriate for an event like that.
So, and that's also, I think they're going to continue with Raw.
Yeah,
and whatnot. They're going to continue for quite a while.
They spent the money on all those screens. They're going to use them.
I think the Amway Center is a permanent home for the moment.
They have, from what I can tell, they have until early December.
Oh wow, okay.
Until then, well, the Orlando Magic are going to need the building, and since they're the primary tenant, they're going to get the building.
Yeah, but are they any good?
I mean, they're in the playoffs right now.
Are they?
Yeah. Are they 1-1 with the Bucks? I think they're 1-1 with the Bucks right now. But that's neither here nor there. It doesn't really matter. The NBA will always beat the WWE.
That's true. So we're going to see what it's going to be look like, tonight, or not tonight, that's NXT, but tomorrow night for SummerSlam. And then we're also, maybe Monday, we'll get to see what it could look like with new creative at the head of Raw.
Yeah, that one's not okay.
Reportedly that they're taking Monday Night Raw from Pritchard to let him focus on SmackDown, and the new person running.
That part is good. That part is good.
Yes.
Division of labor. One guy cannot handle all of that. That's way too much on one person's plate. Explains a lot.
Total of 5 hours of programming.
Give brother 5. If you're encompassing everything, he's also doing all the main event, and he's also doing 205.
That's right. I didn't think of those.
So there's a lot more programming in there. No. But so give Brother Love a break.
They're gonna put him on to just keep him on SmackDown. They're going to find someone to take over Monday Night Raw. And from what I've read and saw, they've already found that someone, and his name is Shane McMahon.
Because it worked so brilliantly when another of the children were in head of creative. It worked out so well that way. So let's do it again.
Didn't it, though? It was perfect. I don't think anyone is going to be very happy with this. Shane's happy. Vince is happy. The McMahons are happy. But
it means we're going to be miserable.
He's been sitting alongside his father, Vince McMahon, the grill position, at most of the main roster shows, helping produce the shows and offer ideas. So now he's in charge of Monday Night Raw.
Well,
allegedly. Not sure when it's going to take place, when this change is going to happen.
This week would be a pretty good place to start, since it also is being reported that after SummerSlam, a lot of storylines are going to either end or be reset or redone, like major changes. Expect the company to be reorganized somewhat creatively.
Really?
After this weekend, and everything kind of points to it's actually a good time to do that. As they're making a major change in their presentation for what it is right now. And what better kind of marker to set than one of your biggest shows of the year, and then change everything going forward. Let him take over. It's probably not fair. I will say it's probably not fair at all to be immediately dismissive of him as head of creative. We don't obviously he hasn't done anything publicly in this position, which is one of the reservations we have, but he may have some ideas. He may be able to start smacking writers around and actually have them write coherent stories.
Maybe.
I'm not hopeful, but it's not necessarily same thing. It wouldn't be fair to put somebody in position for 2 or 3 months and then fire them immediately. Bischoff. Sorry, what?
Are you okay there? You got a little something in the throat.
Still some things stuck in the sinuses.
Like you said, there is some changes coming, and one of them could be a SmackDown superstar leaving.
Well, that's kind of what the idea is, especially since their match just got all gimmicked up even more tomorrow night. So now the hair versus hair match between Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville will also be a no DQ match, and it will also be loser leaves WWE.
Which, I mean, you look at the story of Sonya having somebody come into her, try to kidnap her.
Yeah, that's legit. That's a
real.
Thing she's going to be dealing with now for a while.
She's going to have court cases and stuff that she's going to have to be at, so it's probably like a good leave of absence to take care of all this, and then she'll just debut, look a little different, a different little gimmick, and come back and probably pick right back up with Mandy Rose.
Right, there's that thing there, and
so that kind of makes me think the way they're doing this that I'm pretty sure we're both gonna have the same pick on this one.
I would hope so. I mean,
Let's just not tell our mystery picker.
Doesn't matter. She's watching.
Oh crap.
So yeah.
So,
yeah, like I say, and Nick said no one would blame her whatsoever for asking for time to deal with this situation. So you said taking a leave of absence would be perfect, and again, that's why you set that up like that in the most obvious case of lack of foreshadowing. Period. You could have just wrote her off. She just disappeared, shave her head, runs from shame, doesn't. Okay, you don't have to be this blatant, but okay, look, fine, whatever.
Yeah. So is it still a hair versus hair?
Yeah.
So still, I'm gonna get you out of here and shave your freaking head.
Right. It is gimmick up beyond belief.
Now, if the head shave stayed, would they put a wig on and put the wrestling things like Kurt Angle did?
No, I don't think. I don't think.
What is those called? Those called
headgear.
Yeah, headgear, I guess. So when I saw that, that's the first thing I thought of was Kurt getting his head shaved and putting the headgear on with the wig. Cracked me up.
Which is a really weird thing to go back and watch really old shows and see a ball or a Kurt Angle with hair.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now, we talk about someone leaving. You know, it's not really a new person coming in, but an actual somebody making their pay-per-view debut Sunday, and being Ray's son, Dominic, or as he is to be called, I guess, Prince Mysterio. You said something last night, and what'd you say that he should be called right now?
Well, even for a little bit, if they would have followed closer with Lucha Libre tradition, and so he would be El Hijo de Rey Mysterio Jr. Yes, Jr. The son of Rey Mysterio, as opposed to a brand new thing. But at the same time, we also know there's a company like really doesn't like. They had El Hijo de Fantasma, and the second they possibly could change his name, they did, and then made him irrelevant again. So there is no concern. At least they didn't take Ray's mask off.
They didn't take Ray's mask off. That is correct.
Nope, that failure is alone with WCW.
Oops, there we go.
And yeah, that is actually tea that I am drinking, so that is even more appropriate.
Are you spilling the tea? Spilling the tea on this one? So yeah, Ray debuting as Prince, not Ray, but his son Dominic debuting as Prince Mysterio, and will have his own mask. And if you followed and you looked on like Twitter, you could see some inklings of what the mask and his new ring, his actual ring gear will look like, which will be. I actually watched a video of him in the ring training with an unmasked Ray. But no, you really couldn't see anything. You saw the back of his head and a little bit of the side of his head, but you couldn't see the front of his face. It was just the way the angle was. And I was like, okay, I guess it's not that bad. So, I mean, I'm interested to see how he does. Is this going to be a squash match? I can't talk. Squash match and be destroyed by Seth and lose his first match, or is he going to get the win with his father's help?
Well, that's the thing. There's two schools of thought. Just like you said, does Ray get involved? Yes or no, and therefore he gets a win but not clean, or do we continue to tell the story of him trying and ultimately not being able to beat one of the top guys in the company, like a debuting wrestler shouldn't be able to do right on his own? Like, correct. Because again, as far as we know, will be his first match ever, and so, like I said last week about another match that we'll talk about a little later on. Someone can walk off the street and beat the biggest star on your brand. Their career's done. Like how am I supposed to take them seriously for anything else if Joe Blow can walk in with an impressive looking set of arms and beat your top guy?
I agree.
More on that later.
I agree.
However, we also said when they made this a street fight, I said this to you. I go, that's good. That actually does service to Dominic because that's less. There's more emphasis on things around the ring. Essentially, it's a street fight. There's a little more freedom. It doesn't have to be the in-ring part doesn't have to be as tight and as well. So he has some room to. I know how this is gonna sound, but he has some room to screw up. He has some wiggle room in his performance because his very first match is on the second biggest show of the fucking year.
Yeah.
First time in the ring, second biggest show of the year. They did what they could to give him as much leeway as possible, and I think that's the right thing to do. Give him the best possibility to succeed here. And obviously working with Seth is another very great possible reason to believe that he'll succeed there. I mean, in whose hands will you be better on the roster? Not many others.
Nia Jax.
just break the poor kid in half. I mean, yes, he towers over his dad.
Oh yeah.
But
like I was looking,
still not a huge guy.
Ray comes up to his like right at his shoulder.
Yeah.
Right at his shoulder. He's still got the rest of the shoulder, the neck, the head. He's looking down at Dad. Try to ground me, bitch. Try it.
We know whose genes he got, and it was all Mom's on that one.
Exactly.
All Mom's family.
Exactly. So we got that match to a match that I would think would have happened at SummerSlam. But no, we did it last night on SmackDown.
I'm kind of surprised, but honestly, I'm not necessarily upset because the card itself is pretty well-rounded.
It probably would have got pushed to the pre-show.
Well, you and I both know what would have happened. It would have pushed the U.S. title match to the pre-show. Let's not lie.
True. So we're talking about SmackDown, Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles, the Intercontinental Champion. So it was an Intercontinental Championship match. Winner, Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy walking out of SmackDown with the Intercontinental Championship.
I could have gone a lot longer. Yeah.
Can you?
It's an interesting like move to make. Because there doesn't seem to be anything obviously that AJ Styles is going to be moving to, unless he gets involved tonight, or unless he may be wearing a mask Monday night. Let my stablemates go, will you? I will take my retribution on you.
Hey, there could be a little more behind that. Because they are teasing a main star as being part of Retribution. And if you noticed, coming in late for the save was The Miz.
Mm-hmm.
Could he be head of AEW, or not AEW, sorry, another link here. Could be the head of Retribution?
Well, it seems too obvious now.
Yeah. Could it be Roman Reigns returning?
That would be interesting to finally embrace heel Roman Reigns, because everyone, I assume, would be so ecstatic to see him come back after so many months, and the stories of why he didn't want to come back. And I honestly don't think he should be coming back. I don't think he'll be back this year, honestly.
I don't either. But I mean, that was another thought. I mean, could he be in control of it via, like, not there, but controlling them, like the leader of it? Like Charlie's Angels. Charlie was never around. Roman's not around. Could he be ordering everything?
Could easily tie this back to the SmackDown hacker, and that was actually him the whole time, and he's able to control all of these people from afar without even having to be there. And then eventually, when he comes back, now you have the entire stable willing and ready to follow his every word.
I mean, there seemed to be a lot more when SmackDown started, because SmackDown started with Vince welcoming everybody to the Thunderdome, and then the Fiend coming in and standing next to Vince and being all creepy, and then lights start flickering, and then all of a sudden Retribution is bombarded, and they were around the entire ring. There was a good 5 on each side of the ring. Had to be.
Well, honestly, and if you think about it, one of the perks of moving over to the arena is that everyone that was in the crowd, everyone that was in the crowd that were spectators are now all of a sudden free to be Retribution members. And aside from anyone with distinctive hair dye who may have gotten caught, you have an entire huge anonymous looking army and never have to unmask them because they're just placeholders.
Exactly, until you get the actual group together.
Until you actually get a name star in, and they still don't have to. They can still be followers, but they're also interchangeable. So you can't make it this week? No problem. Drone number 12 will take your place.
Could this come to fruition? I guess on Sunday night, finding out who's in charge. Could we find out who the in charge person is, but still not know who the members are?
Would it? Sure. Should it? No.
I think it needs to continue with this for...
Not all. You have tons and tons of time because you haven't laid anything out just besides a mass group of people causing mayhem. Are they in charge of your alarms too?
They are.
They're even taking on podcasts.
Trolling. They better not take our podcast, sons of bitches. Take care of my phone, you Retribution bastards.
Or if you do, I would need the extra large balaclava to hide the beard. But yeah, I'm totally available. I can do some property damage for day rate. I ain't a broad. Oh,
you can do some damage. Someone else can do some damage, and by damage I mean leading to COVID-19 cases.
So
thanks a lot, Chris Jericho, you son of a El Champion of COVID.
So yeah. So okay. So.
Or as you ask Sammy, how do you say son of a bitch in Spanish? And Sammy responds, El son of a bitcho.
Yep.
Oh my god. So yeah, Fonzie concert leading to COVID-19 cases. What the hell? Why?
Well, honestly, first and foremost, why? Let's go back to the whole thing. Fozzy played the Sturgis rally, which insisted to go on. 400-some thousand people went to South Dakota. And yes, as of right now, 7 of them, or 45,000, whatever, as of right now, 7 have been confirmed cases. That's 7 that have been tested. Something tells me that the vast majority of people who went to that rally will not get tested unless they are symptomatic, which means they are blind carriers, which was the main reason to not have a giant fucking concert in the middle of a pandemic. Holy Christ.
Was it?
Would go so far to say that I am a Jericho mark and have been for years and have a ton of respect for the man. But Chris, you done fucked up. You done something real stupid, and the easiest thing for you to do was to band loyalty. You want to get your dudes paid. That's fine. I get it. But now ain't the time. And as sure as shit was not the time to bring 40-some thousand people together in one place. And I get it. It was going to happen whether or not you were there. But now it is now tied to you. Not to the organizers of the rally, not to the idiots that willingly went and put themselves in harm's way. You're now the public face of whatever comes out of Sturgis, whether you meant to be or not.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You done played yourself. Holy shit. Did I just DJ Khaled him? I did. Oh. I'd like to apologize for that.
DJ Nawrocki.
That was unintentional. And another one.
Chris Jericho. AEW. Speaking of AEW, they're bringing fans back to Dynamite shows like this week.
So they sold out. They are bringing 10% capacity into Daly's Place down in Jacksonville, which made everyone kind of make that exact face right there. That why, but what? And it's like I get what you're trying to do. And keeping the numbers so low, I understand you're trying to this. And even coming out during the week, Tony Khan is actively apparently the company is actively seeking these ticket resellers who are trying to break up. They were trying to sell like tickets to related people. So if you had a family of 4, they'd sell you 4 tickets in one spot away from everyone else. And I guess ticket sellers are bought up these pods and are trying to break them up. So you have people unrelated or unfamiliar sitting with each other, which would definitely break the safety protocols here. So they're actively going to go out to cancel those tickets and make sure things get right and spread people out. I just don't know.
I think it's a bad decision.
I don't think it's you're still working in Florida, and Florida's still in the thick of it. That's just not a good idea.
Not at all.
I mean, it helps it being an outdoor venue, but you're still bringing up. I mean, what about people coming in and going out? Like, there's still way too many chances for an outbreak based on one show.
It's
a
dumb decision. It's a dumb decision.
Yeah, it's too soon. Period. End of story. It's too soon to try that.
It's a Chris Jericho decision. Another dumb decision.
Like I said, he's gonna now be tagged all over that.
He will.
Just like if this goes wrong, the company's going to be tagged by that. The company that could brag that they hadn't had people at their facility test positive because they'd been going out of the way to do testing the whole time, not just after they got caught with a positive case. They're going to turn around and do something like this. I'm like, you're kind of stomping on the goodwill, boss.
Exactly. And it's a stupid decision. I don't know what everyone else thinks. I know that both of our point of view is
Nah, I ain't about that, and I wouldn't be about it if anyone around here tried to run a show, even outdoors, with safety protocols in mind. Like I'm not at that point where I feel safe enough being that kind of gathering place. Sorry.
Yeah, no. Looks like we had a recent loss in Ring of Honor.
So yeah,
I don't know who this person is.
I put that on there, realizing I was the one who was going to be talking about it. I have no idea. Yeah, former Ring of Honor champion Xavier passing away last weekend, actually. After the news came out last Saturday after we did the show, he was the second ever champion in the company, and worked big matches with a lot of the talent that came through the early days of Ring of Honor. So AJ Styles, Chris Daniels, Samoa Joe, and he was like in his mid 40s, 46, 47, as I'm trying to, if I'm correctly, John Bedoya, legal name of Xavier, and yeah, people. I mean, he retired in 2011, so a lot of people are actually hearing about him for the first time. So you're not alone in the mystery there. So I mean, that's again just still circumstance still unknown, but still died rather young. A lot of veterans having a lot to say on Twitter, their memories of him. So we'd also like to pass our condolences along to his family, and we'll go ahead and post the tribute video from Ring of Honor. We'll go with this show. On the website, because I don't have a top 5 for the videos to post, so we'll post that.
Yeah, there is no top 5 this week because we have picks coming up. So
we got a double shot of picks because we got a double shot of shows.
We do. So we're talking AEW a little bit ago. It's not for sure. It won't be for a long while if it does happen. Renee Young, stepping down, putting her 2 weeks in or her notice to WWE as she's leaving the company. There's been rumors swirling, is she going to go over to AEW? Because her husband, being the world champion over at AEW, is she going to head over there? Is she going to go do, sports shows? Where's she going? And she's not going to AEW anytime soon. Because she's going to have a heavy non-compete.
Oh, yeah. You knew that was coming. Although, I mean, again, everyone is sure that she's going to go over there to join him and all.
And she may, but it's not going to be for quite a while.
Well, she may. But I wouldn't. I could easily misread the situation. That's one thing. But I wouldn't put my money on that being her next shot of unemployment, because she's already planted the seeds for doing things. She's wrote a cookbook on her time off. She's starting a podcast. And also,
she's got plenty to do.
She's playing irons in many fires, but also was garnering interest from, at the very least, Fox Sports and ESPN long before this.
Exactly.
That those two major companies had reached out. So I could see her before she ever ends up on TNT, going back to the world of sports and sports journalism.
And it's,
much easier than having to deal with all of the pressure of being the power couple in a company. You're just going to do a job.
Exactly. And they're trying to figure out the reason why Renee Young has decided to leave. Meltzer was previously given a list of the reason that contributed to Renee Young's decision to quit WWE, and it came down to the COVID-19 situation, wherein Renee Young went public about her positive diagnosis without the company's knowledge.
Yeah, which is beyond. If she was getting blowback for that, that's beyond crappy, but that's also to be expected the way that the company treated it. But then to reportedly have no one in upper management check in, allegedly nobody in charge even shot a text out of there.
Yeah.
To say, hey, how you feeling?
You okay?
You okay?
And I say,
which would say a lot to me as an employee if I contracted this thing, the big thing that's going around, and no one even shot me an email to go, hey, you okay? What has the doctor's been saying? How you feeling? Like anything like that. Even the cold callous, well, when can he come back?
Yeah. Kind
of thing. That would, to me, say a lot about where they stood with that employer. It would also make me vastly consider continued employment with said company, even if that company is the top of the industry.
Exactly. And it's a study that she'll finish her stint with the company this week, which is done now. However, she has agreed to work through SummerSlam weekend, so we've got her for today and tomorrow.
Apparently, but they brought Talking Smack back last night, and she was nowhere to be found, so it wasn't going to be in that capacity one last time. Will they let her do backstage interviews to whatever extent they'll do? They'll do backstage interviews tomorrow or Sunday.
Will there be a video, where people have left and they've honored them before they left? It wasn't on TV or anything. It was just on their Facebook or their YouTube.
Maybe.
Will there be something to honor her? I mean, she was the first female to do color commentary.
That's kind of the unfortunate part about this, if you think about it, is that she was actually has that milestone and kind of broke down a lot of barriers.
Yeah.
On the production side of programming, and because of who she married, she's going to kind of fade into the background with that company until the inevitable either reunion or 15 years down the line they induct the Shield into the Hall of Fame. I'm sorry, 25, because it'll still be gone. Maybe 15, because when Vince goes, maybe that anger will go. But I don't know if Shane is pissed still about him going to the competitor. I was so confused there.
What? Why are you confused? Whoops.
I still had Facebook open, so
my
that's
bad.
okay. This is where trim.
We're live now. I can't trim it now.
I don't give a shit about the live show, but the podcast, this part will not be here. So Facebook exclusive. I guess YouTube exclusive too, but who gives a shit?
So we're gonna start getting ready for our predictions here. I've went ahead and messaged our third picker to go ahead and give us a call here. So I am waiting for it to pop up, and you keep seeing it pop up on the screen.
It's why your participants something random coming up and going
away. Just waiting for her to come in and see if we get these picks going. We have, like we said, we have two different shows to pick with here. We've got Takeover. All right, come on in, Lisa.
Do we have a time? I probably should know this. Just for planning purposes, do we have a fucking time for tomorrow? Oh, what? That's wait.
7.
All right, we have a time for 10 nights.
Welcome, Lisa.
Hello.
Welcome to the podcast.
More that we completely missed that we'll try and work its way in. It's not breaking news because it happened late last night following SmackDown, but during that Talking Smack segment that we just talked about, they gimmicked up the Universal title match on Sunday as well. So that match will also be Falls Count Anywhere. So now we essentially have 3 hardcore matches on the card at SummerSlam.
All right.
So just in case you need to alter anything in the Universal title matches now between Bald Strowman and The Fiend is now Falls Count Anywhere.
All right, we are all looking forward to the horror show at SummerSlam. Oh wait, sorry, wrong. That's wrong.
Ah, damn. Yeah. Oh, crap.
All right, so let's get into this. Let's get into our picks. We'll start with tonight. NXT.
Why don't we start by welcoming the third voice on the show?
I already did. You were busy
going
bitching.
To show up. No, actually, you didn't. And as far as anyone who listens to the podcast is concerned, you won't have anyway.
You're a bitch.
So, if you are familiar with our comment section or paying attention to our Facebook page, you will have seen the comments of our guest picker. Lisa has been. We've been trying to figure this out since the middle of season 1 and how to and a time and place to bring you into the show, and now we finally got to do it under the worst circumstances. We'd have much preferred to do this in studio, but here we are. Lisa, thank you for joining.
Lisa, welcome.
No problem. Hello.
Now the picks.
I'd also point out her pop wall puts yours to shame.
It does. She's got a lot of pops. I hope they all fall.
I still have yours, Jerry, so be nice.
All right. So, the picks aren't just for bragging rights. The picks are also for our predictions championship, which we'll have to somehow get it to Lisa if she were to win.
So I can add it to my Grammy belt.
There you go. But she's not getting this. So, this is staying with
Lisa Two Belts. We have to find something else because Lisa Two Belts doesn't really flow. If that's the case,
I tell you what, I'm done with the 2 belt stuff. I'm done.
Really?
I'm done with it. But they're gonna continue it because Vince loves it. Vince can crotchety old son of a bitch. All right.
Crotchety ballsy son of a bitch. As we learned on YouTube yesterday, but it was a beautiful puff piece on how the boss could still go after everyone questioning whether or not his health is still good enough to run a company. He's diving off of the balcony that Gronk dove off of
Try to say,
WrestleMania.
You can do it, Gronk. I'm 70 and I can.
Right.
All right, let's start with the NXT picks here. I will start off with the Keith Lee versus Karrion Kross.
Down. Yeah, okay, so top down for the NXT Championship. Keith Lee in his first pay-per-view defense.
And I'm going with Keith Lee on this one. Lisa?
Karrion Kross.
Think they're going to take it off him that quick?
I think they want him on the main roster.
And there's a draft coming up. So yes, Karrion Kross as well.
All right.
The way they've been building him, there's no way that they're going to have him lose.
There was a social media leak of pics with Kross and Scarlett with the belt. Pics locked in.
Yep.
Next.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Yeah, I share everything with you that I find. You could have shared that with me. I'm knocking shit over on my desk because now you've pissed me off, you bearded motherfucker.
You know, you have a Twitter account. You know how to use it.
I don't use Twitter.
Well, that's not my fault. That sounds like
That's
totally
fine.
like a you problem.
That's fine. That's fine. You know what?
Thank God I have headphones. You're cussing in front of the child.
Well, we've realized our guest picker is a psychotic person.
Oh.
God.
Go ahead. You seem to be hosting this segment, so go ahead.
Hey, look! Now your child has shaken baby syndrome. Good job. All right, Dan, which one do you want to go with next? Go ahead and take the next one.
I feel it is in our best interest to describe to our podcast listeners that there's a large baby Yoda on the couch behind Lisa, and that she's not actually shaking a baby. Just in case. You know, you started with the main event, and that's not how I have my sheet aligned. So I guess I will reverse us all the way back to about 6:30, which is what you will see, which we won't be live for. We're only going to be live for the main card, so come back at 7 o'clock tonight. But in that pre-show, you will see a match to become the number one contenders for the NXT Tag Team Championships when Breezango will take on Orny Loken and wow, did I just blank on Birch's first name? And thank you. And, you know, I should read my Legado del Fantasma. I can't read my own goddamn writing. With the former DJZ and the other guy.
Who do you take, Dan?
Oh, Logan and Birch.
Logan and Birch?
Yeah, Logan and Birch here.
Lisa?
Dan, we're agreeing too much, Dan. I'm with you.
And that's exactly what I have.
All right, so nothing here. I mean, just as a tag team, it makes the most sense. God, they really need to be featured more heavily on the show. Like, they need to, that's a tag division that has been sitting there. What are you surprised? A talented tag division in a WWE brand that's not being used whatsoever. Who'd have thought?
All right, let's go with this one here. And I know this is the one I know that Dan is so excited for. He's been looking forward to this, and he thinks it's the best storyline ever. Versus Adam Cole versus Pat McAfee. Yeah,
well, so
I'm gonna go with Adam Cole because if he doesn't win, that's just stupid.
Lisa, go ahead. I have much to say.
You're not going to bring a celebrity on and have him lose. There's going to be some ball kicking, and I think Pat McAfee's winning.
You think?
Couple kicks to the balls, and it's over.
Well, that's true. No, technically illegal, but still. But interestingly enough, I will go with Adam Cole, despite the fact that just by being in this match whatsoever, his career is
done.
Dead, done, fucking done, over with, not so bad. The fact that he sells anything for Pat McAfee means he's done. You're done. Your worth is done. This dude walks him off the street. He's not an NFL punter and hasn't been for years. He's essentially a guy. He's a radio host who walks into your ring and takes the guy who has been the face of your NXT brand, the man for over a year, your longest reigning champion, and he's face down on the floor from one shot from a radio host. So now, if you take him to the main roster, how many people? Like, oh, you're going to make him work with Lashley? Lashley should take him out in 5 seconds. The logic there is done. He's gone. Let him go. May as well go and reform the Bullet, jump back in and reform the Bullet Club in AEW, because as far as WWE is concerned, you have killed him. Even if he wins, which I think he will.
Who's to say he has Who says he has a new contract signed?
Well, that's the other thing, too. Allegedly he does. Allegedly everyone in the UE does. But does he? I don't know. This could be his penance on the way out. Maybe he does lose to Pat McAfee and then leaves.
I'm thinking.
We'll see what happens. So me and Dan both have Adam Cole. Lisa took Pat McAfee. The NXT Women's Championship, Io Shirai versus Dakota Kai. Lisa, who do you got?
Io Shirai.
Is that your pick, or are you just correcting his horrible pronunciation?
No,
okay,
no, that is my pick.
I am with you. I don't think that they want to move that belt just yet, and I don't know, honestly. I mean, I like her style, but I don't know if Dakota Kai is the challenger you move that belt to, regardless of timing.
And I agree.
I think they're
Go ahead, Lisa.
I think they're working to a match with Candice LeRae eventually.
Okay.
which would make a lot more. Like now that she comes off far more as a far more competent title challenger, even now. Yeah. Okay, so unanimous there. Good. Like it.
And it's like I said, I agree. I don't think they're taking it off of her just yet. The North American Championship. Who are you taking, Dan?
Well, they introduced this shit.
Oh,
Good Lord.
sorry.
A 5-way ladder match for the vacant North American Championship. Of course, vacated after Keith Lee won the NXT Championship back at the Great American Bash. Bronson Reed, Damian Priest, Cameron Grimes, Johnny Gargano, and the Dream, Velveteen Dream, all in this match. That's a little problematic.
They can't get with
not,
the Dream.
They can.
They can. They shouldn't.
I don't think they will. And I am going with punishment. Damian Priest.
Same.
Going with the former Ring of Honor television, longtime television champion.
I'm really hoping that Keith Lee or Adam Cole wins, because we've all had the same except those.
All right.
On this
You don't know
night.
about the.
And
what
then,
about the there's Balor and Thatcher too.
Yes, there is the toss-up match of the night: Finn Balor and Timothy Thatcher.
Oh, I didn't have that one on here. Must have missed it. All right.
Once again, right here on the sheet.
I made my own last night, so so I could type everyone's answers in.
And when I say a toss-up, I think this really is like, this could legit go either way. Is this the match that makes Timothy Thatcher and pushes him to another level? Is this kind of his entrance into contendership for the North American Championship, or another fallen foe to Finn Balor, which in an NXT run that overall has gone
nowhere
yet?
Because he's supposed to be in a feud with Walter, and they can't do it right now.
That's true. That's a match I want to see. God, I want to see that match.
They were heading there until the stupid pandemic.
I know.
There's a pandemic.
Why you gotta be Austrian?
I know. I mean, I can go first. I'm picking Thatcher.
Okay.
Because I think they're just spinning wheels with Finn until they can actually have the match with Walter.
Which sucks. Because there's so much he could do. There's so much he could. I mean, right now, why isn't he? Well, he could be the next in line should Karrion Kross win the belt. Which is why I'm going with him, because I'd like to see him be the first challenger for Karrion Kross. They can bring that up, because then guess who shows up at the next takeover? The Demon. So, the Demon and Karrion Kross? Yeah, now that's a title match.
So who are you going with, Dan?
Oh, Finn Balor.
Going with Finn Balor. I'm going to go with Thatcher.
Okay.
Oh, you're not doing that one. All right. So that is NXT. Sorry.
A very interesting. Now, before we transition, or while you get your next sheet up, let's also point out that the title is contended over the weekend, not just one event or the other. So the belt won't change hands on Saturday night and then again on Sunday night should things go that awry. So we're taking this weekend as a whole collective.
Correct.
And honestly, if they had more than one match confirmed for All Out, I'd have added that card as well. But there's still nothing besides the world title match.
Great.
Which, by the way, should be fire.
Isn't the women's tag team match on there too?
No, that's tonight. The Nightmare Sisters and isn't it Nightmare Sisters and?
I couldn't tell you. It's a women's division on AEW.
It's a makeshift team. I want to say Big Swole. No, because they suspended Swole. Anyway, yeah. That's tonight on Saturday Dynamite Saturday.
Saturday.
I'll bite my tongue on those thoughts.
All right, let's get into our SummerSlam predictions now. And let's just start off. We're talking earlier. Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, hair versus hair. Loser leaves WWE.
No DQ.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure we get as many gimmicks as we possibly can.
3 different stipulation gimmick bullcrap in this match. Hair versus hair, no DQ. Loser gets the hell out.
The only way it gets even more complicated is if the Clippers were on a pole.
we do that?
No, Vince, we can't.
Do that?
No, Russo, we can't.
And I think as we talked, I think both me and Dan are going to go with Mandy Rose, and I'm just going to go ahead and just take a stab at that.
I am not. It's no DQ. I think Otis is going to get involved and cause Mandy the match.
Were you listening to our podcast a little ago?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
But I wrote that down before. I had that thought last night because I actually watched SmackDown Live for once instead of the DVR. And also, Mandy was in the house when that guy tried to kidnap Sonya. It's in the police report. So she's probably just as, emotionally scarred as Sonya is.
Okay. That works. So me and Dan both have Mandy Rose. Lisa has Sonya Deville. Raw Tag Team Championships, the Street Profits, the current champions, versus Andrade and Angel Garza.
Now, before you pick, and I'm sure I'm incorrect in saying this, but this is like the second time the Street Profits have defended the belts since what, Mania?
Yeah.
At least on pay-per-view.
Have they had random tag title matches on Raw?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm also not incorrect in saying that they have started with the potential that was giving the belts at WrestleMania and done nothing with it.
Well, I mean, they had that one,
Ninjas don't count!
That wonderful weird-ass thing with the Extreme Viking Raider Experience thing. Machine. That was the other one. I'm going to go ahead and go with the titles are going to change to Andrade and Garza.
I agree.
As do I.
or to steal one from Wrestle Talk, they call them Zelina Sexy Men.
I don't like her.
And I'm not going to call them that.
I'm not either.
Not gonna.
I'm going to call them Andrade and Garza.
Oh, now Team Tearaway. That's one I could get behind. Now Team Tearaway would totally be a good gimmick.
I like it.
They're cousins.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, they're cousins.
Okay. So there's a legit connection there.
Oh wait, no, it's Umberto. No, it's Umberto. No, it's Umberto who's cousins with Mr. Tearaway Pants.
Oh. So there's some family fightings going on.
Moving on to another championship match, the United States Championship, Apollo Crews versus MVP.
Yeah, we should have had this match back at the horror show.
Yes, but it didn't happen because Apollo Crews was injured, something.
Or may or may not have had COVID, depending.
This could be a false positive or something.
I mean, going with the company history and the fact that they played back to an injury that happened over the month ago, and then I'm just going to go with that was their clever way of saying he was positive without saying he was positive.
Yeah. Dan, who do you got on this one?
Despite that fact, and despite the fact that the secondary title on the sister brand just moved to a guy in his 40s, I don't think they're going to do that here. Even though Paul Heyman is gone, hopefully someone on that team sees the potential of Apollo Crews continuing his reign, and so I will give a retention here.
Lisa,
ditto.
Same here.
Ditto.
I have a feeling Lisa was going to go with MVP on that one. I don't know why. I don't know why, but that's what I thought. All right, so we all got Apollo Crews on that one. All right, let's go over to the women. SmackDown Women's Championship match, Bayley versus Asuka.
I probably could write these without having before she responds. I think I know.
I've already put Lisa's in.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, but do you think that's how I'm gonna go?
That's how I think. I can change it.
Yes, actually, I do.
All right, let's start with Lisa.
I do not. I think Bayley's retaining.
You think Bayley's retaining? All right.
I have a theory. From watching SmackDown last night. I have a theory.
Okay.
I think Bayley's keeping the SmackDown title and Asuka will win the Raw title because Sasha will help Bayley win, but Bayley will not return the favor. Those seeds were kind of planted last night when they set up the time challenge match. Because Sasha's like, wait a minute, you're making me the sacrificial lamb. You're going to have me go first. And then Naomi came out and they had the time beat the clock match. So I think Bayley's retaining through help from her buddy. but she's not going to return the favor, and that's how you plant the dissension between the two of them to drop the tag titles. Because remember, Payback is next week.
Payback is next week.
Shoot.
That is true.
I want to see Asuka 2 belts, but I don't think it's going to happen. You thought I was going Asuka for both, didn't you?
I put Asuka down for you for both of them. Because
Nope.
you're an Asuka mark.
Nope.
All right, Dan, in this match, Bayley, Asuka, who do you got?
I would say I reconsider because I really like that theory as well.
I do like the theory.
Because I was coming in with the idea of 2 theories, and either it would be maintain the status quo, which actually would be Bayley retaining and then Sasha losing the Raw title, and we go back to what we've been doing for God knows how long, or we finally pull the trigger at SummerSlam and turn these 2 against each other. So now we have the tag team champions at each other's throat.
And they've kind of been doing that back and forth where, like...
It's for like a year. More than a year when these 2 are finally returned.
Bayley will throw Sasha in. Oh, you can face Sasha tonight. Or Bayley, same back and forth. They've been doing that to each other back and forth. So they've been doing that for frickin' ever.
Also, if I may add, Asuka posted on her Instagram a picture of the Kabuki Warrior side plates. So I don't know if they're going to bring her back, try to bring that back with somebody else, or what's going on there. But no.
So what's your pick, Dan?
Asuka.
You going Asuka?
Yes. That was the other thing again. So you finally pull the trigger, and the beneficiary of these 2 finally going. Like I think I like your theory, but kind of turn it on one where she beats the one legit. I forget who's supposed to go in the order first. The other comes back for revenge and costs the other their match.
Bayley's defending first.
Okay.
And then
so in my theory, she'll beat Bayley legit. Bayley will come back during Sasha's match and screw up interference, cost her the belt as well as she comes to revenge for losing her own. And now we finally have that tension. Do you make a match at Payback, which with somebody, I don't know. It could be the Iconics for all we know. And that's where the team explodes.
The Iconics?
Can you think of another tag team right now? There's the problem.
No.
Bliss and Cross.
Alexa's busy elsewhere. And gonna be for a while.
They've also created a tag team of Shotzi Blackheart and Rhea Ripley.
Did they brought them up though?
They're still in NXT, but they've had the women's tag title on NXT before.
Well, that's true.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead.
Also, hurry up, make your pick.
I'm gonna go ahead. I like Lisa's little theory,
right.
So I'm gonna go ahead and agree with Lisa on this one.
Also, has someone finally got her? Has she finally been able to get her gear back? Did we finally find the son of a bitch that stole her car?
Yeah, there was a video of her finding the car with the cops, and she's like, "I don't care about the car. I need the helmet." And so she's like excited, jumping around, and grabs the helmet. She's like, "Can I take it? Can I see it? Can I grab it?" And she's like hugging the helmet, and the cop's like, "What the hell is so special about this helmet?"
Like, what job did they give me to? Yeah.
All right, Dan, go ahead on another rant.
For what?
Oh, I thought you said hurry up and make your pick. I thought you had something else you wanted to rant about.
No, that's what I wanted to bring up. Was
okay.
The fact that she had last week had her car stolen with all of her gear in it, and thankfully it's been recovered. So we still never figured. Did we ever figure out who stole what's his name's car out of the back of the Huntington Center like 2 years ago?
No.
His stuff back?
Wasn't that Uso?
No.
Jason, Natalia's husband.
Natalia's husband, TJ.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so then let's go from the SmackDown. So we were on the SmackDown Women's Championship there for about an hour. Raw Women's Championship, Sasha Banks versus Asuka. Dan?
Well, I relayed my theory out, so you know.
Same here.
You're taking Asuka. I think we all have taken Asuka. Oops, wrong button. All right, so we all got Asuka on that.
Forgot my Asuka shirt today, but we'll just,
We'll wear it tomorrow.
It's Fandom Day today.
Yeah.
Mine too.
Again, it's Dino DNA. All right, let's go with someone's first match ever being a SummerSlam. Seth Rollins versus Prince Mysterio, as he's going to be called, in a street fight. I'm going to take Dominic winning it.
Me too.
I think they've...
somebody has a pregnant fiance who is going to be due, I believe, in December or January, and you might want to write him off pretty soon so he can hunker down in Iowa and wait for that baby to come.
And which is funny, I sent a video to Dan where he was Seth Rollins was being interviewed, and they asked, "Would you like your child to take in do this, become a wrestler like you guys, take the family business?" And he said, "We really hope she doesn't." Like he could be, and it could be just screwing with everyone or whatever. But I thought it was kind of funny. He kind of slipped up. But that Dan.
I mean, it's a little early to escort the girl to a future career, seeing as she hasn't been born yet. But you make a point about this, is that this is August, and she's due in December, and there happens to be another major pay-per-view between SummerSlam and December, which would be Survivor Series, which would be the blow-off between Seth Rollins and Dad. And Dad doesn't have the motivation to come back and kick the shit out of Seth Rollins if Seth Rollins doesn't utterly destroy his son tomorrow night. So yeah, I'm going with the Messiah. Close but no cigar. Dominic will put up a valiant fight, but will eventually lose and get stomped for his efforts.
Gotcha.
As long as he doesn't lose an eye.
God, let's not speak of that. Just period. Let's just not. Let's just all. I'm not comparing them in severity, but let's just kind of move that to the Katie Vick bin of history, shall we? And let that be into the door marked retcon.
Moving on.
Universal Championship match. I like how you said, Bald Strowman versus The Fiend Bray Wyatt.
And this match is now Falls Count Anywhere, so we'll have a street fight into a street fight. The third matchup between these two, the second title match.
I'm going Braun.
You going Braun?
I have something I'd like to see happen. I know it's not going to happen, but with what he did to Alexa, I could maybe, and this is fantasy booking, not a prediction. I would love to see Braun win and then Otis cash in. It's not going to happen, but it would be really awesome if it did, because it doesn't. And I also would rather see Bray Wyatt go into a feud with Jeff Hardy for the IC belt, because imagine the possibilities with Brother Nero and The Fiend.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah. I forget. I was like, wait, Nero's in the other, but that one. Yeah, but that gimmick always seemed like it was. I mean, it wasn't his. He was tagging along with Matt.
Yeah. I'm going The Fiend. He hasn't won. I mean, did he win last time?
No, nobody knew.
There was no winner.
There was no physical winner.
There was no winner, and there was definitely a loser in that match.
Yeah, us.
The audience. Yeah.
So I'm saying The Fiend's gonna, now The Fiend, you've had, Bray Wyatt. You've had
Waylon Mercy.
And now you're gonna have The Fiend. And I'm thinking The Fiend is gonna now take the title.
The three faces of Wyatt. I also went with The Fiend and continuing that idea. Not only when you press slam Alexa Bliss, you're on my shit list for good. Besides that, it makes more sense, and Braun almost seems like he's got something else that he's going to be busy with for the next several months. Sure, they tried to kick the crap out of him last night, but then they'll turn around and he is the Retribution's Mr. Brody Lee.
I mean,
he's going heel anyway.
I mean, saying that makes the most sense doesn't work with WWE.
Well, that's why. Well, actually, it does, because they attacked him last night, it would make no sense for them to turn around and join them and become the leader, which is why they will do it.
Correct.
That's why he shaved his head so the mask could fit a little bit better.
All right. WWE Championship match. The final match we're picking from WWE Championship match. Drew McIntyre, the champion, versus Randy Orton.
It hurts my soul. It hurts my soul, but I'm saying Randy.
You going with Randy?
I think they're gonna take the belt off of Drew and then let him win it back when they can actually have crowds in to get the pop. It hurts my heart. I don't want it to happen, but with the way that Randy's been on a tear, and I still think there's going to be shenanigans from Mr. Flair as well. I think they're going to give it to Randy.
And my thought in that is because they're wanting to do WrestleMania Randy versus Edge for the title.
Yep.
So that was my thought. They're going to give it to Randy here. He's going to have it for, until Mania, and then Edge is going to take it. Or Edge could even, I don't know how well he is right now. Could he show up tonight to screw with Randy? Not do anything, but just show up?
I mean, they're in the Amway Center. I mean, he's in the Amway Center. He can be very far away.
So I think.
And also, don't forget the tagline for this event. It was you won't see it coming. And where does an RKO come from?
Out of nowhere. Dan?
Was that an official Orton pick?
Yeah, it was Orton.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Just making sure. Yeah, for those reasons and many others, unfortunately, I think they also realize that the money is going to be a rematch between Drew and Brock when they can actually do a full-on rematch, and they're not going to do that until they can pack a building. So yes, young Randall gets title number 14.
14. It breaks my heart. I love Drew McIntyre, but I mean, he got screwed. This whole,
yeah, it's any other year. No, obviously he continues this through, and then you build to a WrestleMania rematch with Brock. Yeah, it sucks, but
so we've got what 1, 2, 3, 4.
There's enough variation.
5,
here
yeah.
Yeah.
6 different matches different, if I counted right. All right, so I think we should have a good turnout for this. But just an FYI, this is staying here with me.
That's okay, Jerry. I have my own, remember?
That's ugly. And you got your little baby Yoda back there.
It still looks better than the AEW women's title.
No, I got a cup. I got my ass a cup. What are you going to do about that, huh? No, that's right.
I should make Fred bring me my cup. Damn it.
Well, as you may notice, it is a very specific cup.
There you go. So those are our picks for NXT TakeOver 30 and SummerSlam, which are, NXT tonight, SummerSlam tomorrow. We'll be right here live on our Facebook page reacting to NXT and reacting to SummerSlam. So make sure you're following us on Facebook, following us on our YouTube page. You can find all that along with all of our podcasting locations over at the website right at the bottom of the screen there, thefinisherpodcast.com. Dan, you have anything? No? All right, then I think it is time. We will see you guys later this evening right here. Stand by. We'll be back later for NXT. See you guys then.
Sinatra's on line 3, and maybe he wasn't crooning.